guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And if you guys are interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon site or going to my Ko-fi link. Both of those links are in the description below. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about commenting or sharing your thoughts on this interweb thing that we're on. And I noticed that a lot of you guys, of course, a lot of you guys are brilliant commentators. The stuff that is on this community is absolutely astounding to me. I think the reason why this YouTube channel is so popular is not because of the fact that the videos are good, which is reasonably, it's under doubt, but the fact that you guys have such brilliant comments on it. I know one of the reasons why I love this community so much is because there's so much brilliance in it, and you guys are always sharing a lot of interesting things with me. I learn a lot from you, and I know everyone else does as well. And so I do hear from new subscribers saying that, I love your videos, they're great, but I really love the comments that are underneath all of the videos. I learned so much from them, and I love the fact that all of these INFJs are stepping up and sharing themselves with the world in such a way. It inspires me to do the same. And you guys know, if you're an INFJ, that you have this tendency to believe that nothing really has a point. In some ways, if you're perhaps an unhealthy INFJ, or you've tried and given, and eventually you're like, I give up. That's it. I'm done with this world. I'm not giving anymore. I'm done with sharing myself with it. And I notice that I go through these phases as well. And what happens to you guys is that, you'll write out these elaborate comments, you'll write down these elaborate arguments or replies to things, and then you'll be like, well, I'm just going to delete this because no one gives a rat's ass anyways, and no one cares, and I'm not going to care either. I'm not going to reply to this. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? I think that's kind of the refrain kind of goes over and over in our head. What's the point? Why does it matter? No one cares anyways. I'm the only one who cares. And I really want to step back and examine this way of thinking, the story that we tell ourselves. And I have told myself this story as well. I wouldn't have started doing these videos because I thought that no one cared. No one really gives whatever about INFJs or about personality types or about spirituality, about anything that I speak about. And I was like, no one's going to care. I care about meditation, but no one else is going to, of course. And then I started doing these videos and I realized, yeah, people do care, and they care a lot. And you just have to put yourself out there and believe that who needs to hear the message, the person who needs to see that comment or who needs to see that reply or who needs to see that video or whatever it might be, will see it. It's not your responsibility to worry about that. Your responsibility is, if it calls to you, if your heart says or your mind says or whatever it is, it's calling to you to reply to something, some derogatory comment or some racist comment. You're like, I need to say something here. My heart is calling out to me to do it. Just do it, right? Don't worry about the fact that no one's going to care. Don't worry about the fact that no one's going to read it. Don't worry about the fact that people are going to think you're a crazy person or a psychopath. Don't worry about any of that stuff. The point is your heart, your soul, your inner child, whoever you want to call it, the universe is asking you to comment, right? And you are going to do it because you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for someone else. If no one reads it, that's fine. And I've said this before a lot of times. A lot of people are a little bit skeptical of this. They're like, well, why do you do these videos? You don't do it for yourself. You do it for others so you can get money and this and that. And I'm like, well, of course I want monetary compensation because I'm spending a lot of time on it, and it's just the world that we live in. And I want to be able to do these forever and ever and ever, so that if I get compensated for them, then I'll be able to use that money to live and keep on doing these videos, right? So, of course, that's part and parcel of it. But a lot of times, when I am in a funk where I think to myself, well, I can't do another video, I have nothing to talk about, and no one cares anyways, and no one's listening. When I go into those funks, because I go into those funks as well, very rarely, but it does happen, then I realize that I'm not doing it for someone else, I'm doing it for myself. But luckily enough, it does impact a lot of people, and it gives me a lot of joy to see that it is impacting you guys. But the reality of it is that if I don't do videos for a long period of time, I feel like there's something missing within me. My inner child, my soul, my spirit, that part of me that really wants to do these videos, that wants to talk about these topics, that finds it fascinating and interesting and just likes it, it feels like there's something missing. I might be doing everything else perfectly. I might be eating delicious foods and roaming around the world and meeting amazing people. But if I don't do these videos, I feel like I'm missing something major in my life. And I think that's the same thing. I'm not saying that commenting on videos or replying to derogatory comments or just those kind of things are that important in that like it's going to change the world. But it is important to you, and it's important to your inner child or to your soul, to your spirit, whatever you want to call it, whatever that word is for you. It's important to that part of you. And that's the reason you're doing this stuff. And that's the reason you have to remind yourself that, yeah, maybe no one's going to ever read that comment, which is probably unlikely. Some person who needs to read that comment and who needs to hear those words will eventually read it, and it'll change their life. And you will have that ripple effect going around through the world, and you're changing the world in small but measurable quantities. But you might not see it. And you're like, well, no one cares, no one read my comment, no one liked it, no one commented on it, etc., etc. Well, you have no idea. Life is long, and these comments are there forever, or as long as possible. And they'll be there for 20, maybe 10, 20 years, and you have no idea how many people it's going to affect in that period of time. And even if it affects that one person who really needs to hear that comment, and perhaps you prevent them from doing something horrible with their life, perhaps they were going to go commit suicide and they don't, or they were going to take a gun to a school and they didn't. I'm like obviously exaggerating, but just to show you that you have no idea what that impact might be. And so if you're sitting there as an INFJ or as an individual thinking, should I write this? I really have this desire to share my thoughts on this subject, but I believe that it doesn't really matter. No one's going to read it anyways. I will read it. I read all comments. Even if I only reply with a generic thing, I read all comments and I use them in my videos, and I learn a lot from you guys. So I do read them. And even if it's only me reading them, I hope that's not sufficient. Even if that's not sufficient, then I'm sure there's others reading it as well. Even if they don't comment on it, and even if they don't like your stuff, there are people reading your stuff. And because you're probably a really good writer, if you're an INFJ, you're probably amazing at it, then realize that there's a reason why you're doing this stuff. Perhaps it's just practice for your writing. Perhaps it's just practice for your communication skills. Perhaps it's just practice for you to live in this world and show empathy. Perhaps it's your karma. That's what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. Whatever it might be, if your heart is calling out for you to do it, then just do it. Just forget about everything else. Just forget about what the result might be, what you're going to get out of it, where you're going to go from it, who's going to see it, what they're going to think about it. All of that stuff is peripheral and it doesn't really matter. Once you put it out there, it's done. And it's out in the universe, and it's creating good karma, and it's creating good vibes, and perhaps helping people out. And it's there, and that's it. That's done. And then you're on to the next thing, the next comment, and the next stuff that you want to do. And then you do that, and you forget about the past. Just keep on moving forward, right? And so I really want to share this with you guys because I know a lot of subscribers actually messaged me saying this. I've been watching your videos since the beginning for 2-3 years now, and I love your stuff. I've never commented before because I was so afraid, or I was shy, or I just didn't think that you would read them. But obviously you do. I've seen you reading comments, so now I'm commenting on it, or I'm messaging you, and I'm so grateful that you're actually replying back to my things. And I'm just like, yes, I'm here for you guys, but not only me. Your stuff is valuable not only in general to me, but to everyone in this community and everyone in the world. There is a ripple effect happening that you're not even aware of at the quantum level, at different dimensions, in different physical and ethereal dimensions that you're not aware of. Your action is taking place here, but it's affecting everything, and you don't know where it goes. You don't know what it's affecting, but it is. And so you just have to do it because your heart is telling you to do it. Your soul, spirit is telling you to do it. There's a reason why your soul, spirit, heart is telling you to do it. There's a reason for it. It's a very good reason for it. You just have to do it and let go of the results. Let go of the end results because that's not your priority. It's like the Bhagavad Gita says, the fruits of you're not entitled to the fruits of your labor. You're only entitled to your labor. So all you need to do is do your work, and the fruits may come, may not come, may come 500 years from now if you believe in reincarnation. I do. They might never come, but that's not the point. The only thing you're entitled to is doing the work because that's what you're placed on this planet to do. You're placed here to do your work, your special, unique work. Because that comment is just an example. That comment you're going to put in is going to be unique to you. No one else is going to comment in that manner because your life experiences, your stuff is going to bring forth that comment. And whatever it might be, of course, I'm using a comment as just an example. It might be a video, it might be your work, it might be a project, whatever it is. It's uniquely you. It's made up of you, your neurons, your atoms, your energy. And no one else can emulate it. No one else can do the same thing. So it's your responsibility to bring it into the world, right? I hope this makes sense. I really want you guys to start sharing more, and just don't worry about the results. Just do it because you're brilliant and it is your birthright to share as much as possible. Okay? Again, if you guys are interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon site. The link is in the description below, or my Ko-fi link if you want to give me a one-off donation, again in the description below. And I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.